Welcome to the 2022 Do Good Challenge. Tonight, we celebrate the 10th anniversary of this amazing program that inspires students to make a difference for the issues they care about. Maryland student leaders have shown us incredible innovation, passion, and resilience over the past 10 years, making a tremendous impact in their communities and around the world. It all started a decade ago with a class and the idea that given a challenge, Terps could rise up and do good now. In 2012, with help from the actor Kevin Bacon, we made a video that challenged students to spend the semester fundraising, volunteering, and developing solutions for issues they care about. That first year, more than 100 teams competed in the finals event. The 5 student finalists pitched their impact and vied for the $5,000 first place prize. The success of that first challenge paved the way for the launch of the Do Good Institute, transforming the University of Maryland into a Do Good campus. Every year, students are taking action, fighting injustices, creating sustainable solutions, building supportive communities, and powering change.
10 years of the Do Good Challenge means 10 years of students going out and making a difference in the world. It means an idea has grown to fruition that students can make a change in the world today.
I mean, the challenge was one of many amazing experiences I had when I was a graduate student because of everything I did with the Do Good Institute. I got to lead an amazing program like the challenge and work with really awesome colleagues and students. And I knew that I always wanted to come back and work again with the Institute and give students at UMD the same experience I had, because it was amazing.
Since the first students competed 10 years ago, Do Good Challenge teams have made incredible strides to tackle grand challenges of our time. Over the last decade, challenge teams and alums have raised more than $6 million for a local children's hospital, rescued more than 27 million pounds of produce, built 4 schools for children in Honduras, pioneered automatic toilet flushing technology that reduces the average toilet water consumption by up to 45%, packaged and distributed nearly 3 million meals to individuals and families in the local area, resolved more than 4,000 legal cases for vulnerable or undocumented individuals in Argentina, been credited with helping free journalists falsely imprisoned around the world, connected more than 4,000 students to medically accurate health information through accessible SMS chatbots in just 1 year, provided more than 9,000 care packages to support women experiencing homelessness, reduced stress by 30% for teachers through mindfulness workshops, sparked food recovery chapters on more than 200 college campuses. And that's just a fraction of the remarkable impact Terps have created over the past decade. With even more classes, funding, programs, and opportunities being offered across campus, and even more to come, we can't wait to see how the next decade of changemakers will do good. The 2022 Do Good Challenge 10th Anniversary Celebration is made possible by the support of our dedicated sponsors. A special thank you to Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management for its decade-long sponsorship, and to the Rothschild Foundations for their transformative partnership. Thank you to our additional sponsors: the University of Maryland Center for Engineering Concepts Development, the Richard E. and Nancy P. Marriott Foundation, the Neelam Foundation, and Freed Photography for capturing 10 years of Do Good Challenge moments. And now, enjoy the show.
Welcome to the 2022 Do Good Challenge! My name is Bob Grimm, and it's my great privilege to be the director of the Do Good Institute. which empowers individuals by providing them with the resources and skills to do good now. And as you saw on the video, Terps are tackling the grand challenges of our time. But we shouldn't kid ourselves about the trials we face. Many efforts to help others were curtailed during the pandemic. In fact, a recent study reported that 2/3 of volunteers decreased or stopped their volunteering during the pandemic. But our world calls out for us to do more good. And there is a pent-up desire to do just that. Our first Do Good Challenge team that won the challenge, the Food Recovery Network, restarted regular food recoveries in the campus cafeterias right here in College Park this semester after putting it on hiatus since the onset of the pandemic. And a more recent Do Good Challenge champion, Hydrays, has relaunched their product to reduce water waste. And don't check it out now, but check it out before you leave. The Hydrays product is operational in multiple stalls tonight in the Clarice. And on tonight's stage, you're going to hear how Terps persevered and have made a difference for the issues and the communities they care about, and are even more motivated to change our world for good. And I want to just take a moment, though, to thank our wonderful Do Good Challenge planning team, led by the incredible Callie Moore. Woo! And I want to thank the entire Do Good team and volunteers for making this challenge possible. Let's a round of applause to. Finally, one of the last photos in the video you just saw was from a grant ceremony for an Engineering for Social Change group of courses that Do Good co-designed and co-taught with our friends in the Clark School. These courses reimagined learning, and the students in every course had the opportunity to make a grant to a local nonprofit, thanks to the Neelam Foundation. And each semester, we would have an event at the end, and then Dean Pines would always join us to celebrate the students' achievements and to encourage all of us to keep reaching for even greater impact. And so it is my great pleasure to welcome to the stage the leader who asked us all to do good by reimagining learning across the campus and tackling humanity's grand challenges. Please welcome President Pines.
All right. Happy 10th anniversary, Do Good Challenge. How about a round of applause for Dr. Grimm? 10 years of excellence from Dr. Grimm. You know, it's always inspiring to see our students, faculty, staff, and extended Terp community work so diligently together to do well by doing good. I am honored to be here and to welcome you to the 10th anniversary of the annual Do Good Challenge, presented by our Do Good Institute and the School of Public Policy. I am proud to have the University of Maryland as the nation's first Do Good campus. How about that? A place where students are inspired to take action, spur innovation, and tackle, yes, tackle, the grand challenges of our time, from climate change to social injustice to pandemics and to even the threats to our democracy. Our university is filled with innovative thinkers here in the audience, behind the stage, and who's going to come up to the stage. They're from all backgrounds, all disciplines, and all with creative ideas. We are continuing to reimagine learning by providing holistic infrastructure, inclusive education, and opportunities for creative expression, discovery, and of course, critical thinking. We are inspiring students to develop, launch, and accelerate their innovative ideas, and encouraging them to become active members in their community. While recent national and world events have often presented unprecedented challenges, they all have also presented unprecedented opportunities to investigate and discover new and, yes, new and better paths forward. That's why I have great optimism for our future, our collective future. And as you'll hear tonight, Terps have found many ways to make a difference from fundraising and advocacy to innovation. These students are dreaming up the fearless ideas that will move us fearlessly forward. Their imagination, motivation, and determination are examples to all of us on how to pursue excellence and advance the public good. So tonight, we will introduce you to the next generation of do-good leaders, do-good innovators, and do-good excellence. I'm excited to hear about the grand challenges that you are tackling and on the impact that you will have and make in the future. Thank you, and welcome to the Do Good Challenge.
Thank you, President Pines. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Yousefnejad Gallagher, the Associate Director for the Do Good Institute. And this is a full circle moment for me. It's been 9 years since I was on this stage competing as a finalist while doing my master's degree. And even as a staff member at the Institute, this is my favorite event of the year. We could all use a little bit of joy and inspiration, and that's exactly what you're going to get tonight. Now, for those of you who this is your first challenge, let me tell you a little bit about our format. In a few minutes, our 6 finalist teams are going to pitch their impact from their project or venture, and the judges are going to have 4 minutes to ask them questions. Now, don't think that you get to sit back and just watch. We want you to pay close attention, because after our 6 finalists have made their 5-minute pitches, we want you to text to vote for your favorite finalist team. The finalist team that wins the Audience Choice Award is going to get $2,500 extra to support their work. So pay attention and think carefully about who you want to throw your support behind, because you're all judges tonight. We'll first be hearing from our project track finalists. These groups have chosen to maximize impact for an existing organization or a cause through efforts such as volunteering, fundraising, advocacy, and awareness efforts. Then you'll hear from our venture finalists. Ventures are student-created social enterprises and nonprofit organizations focused on social impact. First up are going to be our project finalists. I'm constantly in awe of the dedication, the hard work, the compassion that our students put behind their efforts as Terps, and I can't wait to see what we have in store tonight. This year's finalists for the project track are Combating Overdoses in Rural Areas, Get Over It, and KESM at UMD. Now, before we get started with our project finalists, I'm honored to introduce an incredibly impactful alum and my friend, Cedric Noifer. The first time I met Cedric, it was almost 6 years ago in a coaching session, and I knew immediately from his vision and his passion that he was going to go far. Now, Cedric's going to come on stage and tell you a little bit about his impact and journey with Roots Africa, but he's so humble. He's not going to tell you that just this spring, he was named the Outstanding Young Alumnus by the Alumni Association. Please help me welcome Cedric.
Again, my name is Cedric Noifer. I am the co-founder and executive director of Roots Africa. Our mission is to combat hunger and poverty by connecting academic institutions, experts, resources here in the US to farming communities in Africa. We do this now through our change makers. Our change makers are bright entrepreneurs in Africa with a drive, they're agricultural students with a drive to change their community for good. Throughout our journey at Roots Africa, we've come up with 4 guiding principles that lead everything we do. The 4 are cause autonomy. With cause autonomy, we believe that there should be African solution to African problems. The second is multiply impact. With the grand challenges that we face today, like we've heard from Bob and we heard from President Pines, we cannot afford to grow incrementally. We must grow exponentially. And you will hear that from a lot of our panelists, from our competitors today. And the third is continuous learning. Since 2018, we've piloted 8 different programs and learned along the way. And we are growing and we are learning as we go along. And the fourth is global engagement. It really takes a village to make an impact. And so we are mobilizing mentors here in the US to mentor our agricultural change makers in their communities. But this is not a one-way street. All of our mentors have expressed feeling a higher sense of purpose, empathy, and global responsibilities after being involved in our program. Today, we are here to experience history. That's why I'm even excited to see students in the SEED program here with us today. We're about to witness some incredible teams coming forward and sharing about the innovations and how they're changing the world. This takes me back to last year when we won the challenge. That was one of the highlights of my life, but even more so, the most impactful milestone for Roots Africa. But our journey with Do Good did not start there. It started way back 2016 as a small student club that came into the office and asked for help with the mini grants. The Do Good Institute was the first organized institution that believed in us and gave us that $250 contribution that has helped us to grow up to where we are right now. I also remember all the coaching and mentoring session and all the times that I've called Sarah, called Bob, called Rob, asking them, call Professor Deeds, asking them for guidance and advice to support me in my journey. I also remember getting accepted into the Scale Your Impact program and the certificate program. These 2 programs really laid the right foundation for us to grow this organization into what it is right now and to do more. That's why I can stand here in front of you with 100% certainty and tell you that we are going to change the world. Oh, no, I take that back. We are changing the world. And you see the students that are back there, they'll come out here. They'll come out here and tell you the myriad of ways that they are changing the world. With that said, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce you to our panel of judges for the project track. Okay, so we have Michelle Gillard. She's the director of the US Education and Workforce Department. And I'll just ask you to hold your applause. Our judges will come on the stage, and then at the end, you can give a round of applause. Okay. We have Khalil Kettering. He is the director of the Bezos Fund and at the Nature Conservancy. And we have Paul Montero. I remember being nervous during the judging last year. He's the chief of staff and the assistant vice president for external affairs at Howard University. So now you can give your round of applause to our distinguished guests. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Welcome to the stage, Combating Overdoses in Rural Areas.
This is Chelsea. Chelsea started using drugs and alcohol when she was only 12 to cope with her abusive family and relationship. When she was 15, she ran away from home and became addicted to heroin. By the time she was 25, she had already overdosed twice and had to be revived with naloxone, a drug that reverses the effects of an overdose. Eventually, she entered a women's rehab clinic where she engaged in a life of recovery, including therapy, volunteer work, and building a healthy support network.
Being from rural Frederick County, Chelsea experienced barriers in accessing naloxone, clean syringes, shelters, and drug treatment resources. Baltimore City has 10 times the number of opioid resource centers as rural Maryland counties. And on a national level, these barriers have caused rural overdose rates to exceed those in urban areas. It is these stories and barriers that drive Cora's mission.
My name is Kevin, and I founded Cora after listening to dozens of heartbreaking stories about opioid use disorders on the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline as a certified crisis counselor.
And my name's Amila, and I'm Cora's policy director. After growing up in a rural area and working in an emergency department, I saw firsthand the devastating effects of the opioid epidemic on my own communities and wanted to address this on a larger scale. So Cora was founded in June of 2020 with the mission of providing opioid education, resources, and harm reduction to rural communities. We currently have a group of 30 UMD students. Since our founding, we've expanded to 8 chapters across Maryland, Mississippi, Massachusetts, and Washington, D.C., which has expanded our membership to 100 students. We've also successfully partnered with a number of organizations. Given the complexity of the rural opioid epidemic, Cora operates through 3 pillars: education, harm reduction, and policy. The first pillar is education. Our action teams have presented educational modules to raise awareness on over 30 different topics to adults and children through schools, churches, and clinics on topics that include compassion fatigue in first responders, stigma, and adolescent drug use. Through our educational arm, we've been able to reach over 2,000 people so far, which we expect to increase to over 3,000 this year. 92.3% of people find our county-approved educational modules to be engaging and would recommend them to their own friends and family.
Our second pillar is harm reduction, which aims to reduce the negative consequences of drug abuse. Harm reduction services are widely unavailable in rural counties. As a state-accredited overdose response program, Cora makes harm reduction more accessible by training rural communities in how to respond to an overdose with naloxone. So far, we've trained over 327 individuals, and by the end of this year, we're projected to train 2,500. Through the program, we've also distributed 16 doses of naloxone, and we've contributed over $13,000 in free harm reduction services to our communities. In addition to a lack of harm reduction services, rural areas lack a centralized source of information on harm reduction resources. So Cora spent a year developing the Maryland Harm Reduction Database, which houses over 1,000 resources in drug education, harm reduction, and treatment. So far, the database has garnered 100 users a month since its launch, and we're working with the Maryland Health Department to expand our user base.
Recognizing the impacts of public policy on this epidemic, this year we developed a policy division within Cora, which has met with state and local policymakers, drafted policy memos, and even delivered testimony on Maryland House Bill 1120. Our testimony provided evidence-based support for the need for care and treatment of substance use disorder in pregnant incarcerated individuals.
Since we were founded, Cora has raised over $10,000, and our members have contributed 5,000 service hours towards our mission. Already, we've made a tremendous impact in our communities, and with an investment of $5,000, we could do even more. We plan on using this money towards improving our harm reduction program, including starting a syringe exchange service. We plan on using this money towards expanding to new states, such as West Virginia, and funding our new initiatives in research, policy, and advocacy. And all in all, that'll allow us to provide even better services to even more people across the nation. So I leave you with a thought. Within the last 5 minutes, another person has died of an overdose that could have been prevented with the accessible harm reduction services that Cora offers. By implementing education, harm reduction, and policy interventions, Cora offers a more equitable approach to the epidemic. And together with your support, we can continue doing this, and we can recover together. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I really want to congratulate both of you for taking on an extraordinarily difficult problem and commend you for all that you've done. The question I have is about the rural environment in which you're working, and we know that in rural environments there's a lot of infrastructure challenges. And so can you talk a little bit about the infrastructure challenges that you've had to overcome the most and how you've done that?
Good question. So Generally, in terms of treatment, there's just not a lot of treatment options for rural areas. I came from rural Indiana. Still today, they don't have a treatment center for opioid use disorders. Similarly, they don't have harm reduction services in a lot of these communities. As we mentioned in the beginning of this slide, Baltimore City has 10 times the number of opioid resource centers compared to rural areas, any rural county in Maryland. A lot of these problems could be addressed by infrastructure problems, and it's a lot of problems that we've faced ourselves. When we're reaching out to these communities and asking them what exactly do they need, a lot of them say we need infrastructure help. And we're able to go into these communities as a certified overdose response program and provide these harm reduction services that they wouldn't usually get. So we're directly addressing that problem through CORA.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great presentation. Lots of poise on stage. I know it's hard to be up here with all the eyes and the lights on you, but very well done. This topic is a topic we hear a lot about in the news, and we hear about a lot of different programs that are trying to address this topic. So what makes yours unique to be able to stand out above the competition of other programs, projects that are trying to address this?
I think something that's really important that we always keep in mind, and that's a value that guides a lot of our work, is our equitable response. When we say we're using equity to guide what we're doing, we really are. A lot of our members come from rural areas. I myself grew up in Cumberland, Maryland, which is nestled in Western Maryland in a very rural area. And using our passionate members and volunteers, we have people who are working on different facets of the issue, whether it's education, harm reduction, and now policy. We're tackling things on every single level, whether it's in the community, at the state level, working with policymakers. I think we're using lots of different ways to tackle this one overall huge problem.
And again, great job, very impressive presentation. You're working on an issue that is one of the reasons you're seeing life expectancy in the healthiest populations fall in America. So because of the depth of the problem, I'm going to focus on impact. It's very impressive you've reached 2,000 plus community members with educational materials. Can you unpack some more about what they're doing with the materials once you equip them with that, just speaking toward impact?
Mm-hmm. So why don't I talk a bit about the modules themselves? So the modules, we work with local health departments in each county to first talk with them and say, what are the biggest challenges in your community that you're facing that we can help with? And then we work with them for a semester to develop these modules that are directly given to community members through churches, clinics, and schools. And throughout the semester, we develop these things and we give it to them, and then they use these throughout the year. So already we've gotten feedback from like a health teacher in Allegheny County. He's still using our materials in his drug curriculum. So I think this speaks to the longevity of our impact and as well as the continuing impact we make, because every single semester we make a new module on some different topic of the epidemic.
I'd also like to note that while we were operating virtually for the past couple years, we were recording these modules and then sending these out to communities for them to share, whether it was through our online community on Facebook, through library systems and the programming that they were doing. We were essentially giving them the resources to continue to use them and reinvest in their communities.
Thank you. To follow up on that real quick, maybe I'm out of time?
Okay.
Never mind.
Oh, okay. No, play it.
Welcome to the stage. Get over it.
Hi, I'm Hope.
And I'm Zoe.
And we are Get Over It.
So imagine you go to the bathroom and you have to go really bad. You go into a stall and there's no toilet paper. So you frantically search your backpack to see if you brought a spare roll with you. You didn't. And you forgot a quarter to buy toilet paper and you're starting to freak out. You don't really know what to do. And it's too late. You ruin your pants and there's no way you can just go back to class like that. I know, this situation seems a little silly, but if you're a menstruator, it's likely you've experienced something just like this.
On the first day of Policy 388D, our freshman year back in fall 2019, we were tasked with finding an issue on our campus to solve as a group project. The two of us and 3 other female students started talking about the one thing we all had in common, periods, and all the infuriating things associated with them. We started by doing national research on this issue, and we found out that 81% of menstruators have started their period without the supplies they needed.
So we started doing research on our own college campus, and we learned that this is an issue that affects both our health and our education. With an initial survey with over 50 responses, we learned that many students weren't able to go to class because they didn't have the supplies they needed when they started their period. We talked to a student who got a yeast infection because she had to leave a tampon in for far too long because she didn't have the supplies she needed. We also learned that it's very expensive to be a menstruator. On average, a college student will spend $1,000 while they're in college just on menstrual products alone. After learning this, we began to fight for free menstrual products at the University of Maryland.
We took this above a class project and we quickly made noise. We combined with the club formerly known as Period, and with more people rallying behind us, our efforts got a lot of notice, including the Diamondback and the Washington Post, The Lily.
When the pandemic hit, this really emphasized the world's public health crisis. Learning this, we wanted to continue fighting even harder. So, on December 3rd, 2020, we received a $48,000 grant from the Student Government Association to put 25 free menstrual product dispensers in 25 bathrooms on campus for the next 3 years.
Thank you. On the map behind me, you can see the locations of the dispensers that were installed fall 2021. We are continuously collecting data in order to strengthen our research and our argument that this is both wanted and necessary. Usage is determined on a quarterly basis based on the amount of invoices facilities management produces for each individual dispenser. All 25 dispensers have been restocked at least once.
And all 25 dispensers have a poster on them with a QR code that you can scan so we can track usage and receive feedback. With over 200 responses, 82% have agreed that this service has been very useful.
We've received anecdotes from students about how this service has saved them from missing class and meetings. And this isn't just for cis female students. We currently have 4 dispensers in gender-neutral bathrooms, and a transgender man told us in a survey that this service is really helpful to students who can't always afford menstrual products.
10 out of the 14 Big Ten schools already have some type of free menstrual product initiative, whether it's a pilot program or permanent. So, the University of Maryland has the opportunity to really be a leader in this initiative and show the community that the University of Maryland is a place that cares about their students and their health and believes that something like this deserves institutional support.
So what's next? Right now, we only have this funded for another 2 years. Students who come after us should not have to worry about this problem anymore. We need your help in order to make sure that UMD commits to supplying free menstrual products forever by making this pilot program as successful as possible. We want to use the $5,000 for a marketing campaign in order to raise awareness and to let students know about this pilot program, since we know not every student knows this exists or remembers where each individual dispenser is located. We could also have an advocacy event to raise awareness and to let UMD students testify their own stories and to learn about how period poverty affects people worldwide. We also want to help other schools make history by spreading this initiative elsewhere. Providing free menstrual products helps students in their health, education, and finances. We've done so much over the past few years, but need your help to make UMD make this a priority for the future, because no student should have to choose between their health and their education, period.
Congratulations on a wonderful presentation. Very, very well done. This is a really important health issue. And I appreciate that you raised this and are making noise about the importance of this. And I'm thinking about issues of sustainability, because this is something that really is ongoing. And you talked a lot about students, but there's faculty, there's staff, there's so many people on campus that really have this issue. And so I'm wondering, how much does it cost per year? Do you have a sense of how much it costs per year to provide this service?
Yeah, so to give you just like a rough estimate, right now, as we said, $48,000 covered us to put in 25 dispensers and fund the products for the next 3 years. So a case of tampons, just for the audience, if you're wondering how much a case of tampons are, it's about $70 per case for 500 tampons in a case, and then $40 for a case of pads, which has about 250 pads in it. So based on that, we're not great at math, but those are the numbers that you would need. And because this is our first year, we're not 100% sure how many products and dispensers we're going to actually go through.
Okay.
So that, to answer your question,
All
we're
right.
not really sure yet.
And have you thought about, though, how this could be sustained where you're not having to raise the money in terms of the fees that the university charges?
Yeah, so in a dream world, this is something that we hope that the University of Maryland can take under their wing and it be something that they supply, like how they do toilet paper, paper towels, all the essentials, that it's something that's just regular. Right now, we only have it for 3 years, but we want it to be something that continues and doesn't just stop in 3 years where we have empty dispensers just sitting in the bathrooms.
Thank you.
Really good presentation. You took a topic that's so important and that not everybody's familiar with, and you made it relatable, which was really well done. And I'm not good at math either, but I did save 15% on my car insurance by switching to Geico. And I'm curious, you mentioned an advocacy campaign, and you have the platform right now and leaders right now. What does an advocacy campaign look like to make this sustainable and have the longevity?
Yeah, so I mean, just like last week, a Yik Yak went viral on our campus, which is like an anonymous posting platform. A TikTok that I made a week ago went viral, got 49,000 views now. So thank you, my TikTok viral dream. But really, I mean, we do have a platform, and whether it's social media or on stage right now, really just letting people know that this exists, and once someone knows it exists, then other people will know it exists too.
So outstanding presentation. When I was a student here, I was a outlying commuter legislator on SGA. Shout out to student government, anybody in the house. And so I remember when I was here, most students here are commuters. They're within driving distance of the university. So God forbid, we're talking about COVID 2022. The campus is shut down. You've now, what's the contingency plan going to impact, because that's the largest percentage of the score here. Do you have a contingency plan if you have all these products, but students are not actually coming here for class?
I mean, do you have a contingency plan on toilet paper? Is my question back to you. I mean, does the university have a contingency plan for toilet paper that's already funded in our budget? I mean, no, we don't, because no matter what, female students are going to need to use tampons and pads.
We'll just restock them less and save money overall, I guess, but we would just keep them in bathrooms until students come back. And the students who are on campus, they'll use them. The ones who go to class, they'll use them.
Okay. It's time. Okay.
Welcome to the stage, Cassim.
As I walked through the hallways of my middle school, I never felt more alone. In a sea of my peers, I felt more isolated than ever. When I was 13 years old, my father passed away from stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I struggled to confide in or find comfort in anyone my age, for none of them knew what it was like to go through such a terrible thing. There are 5 million children in the United States impacted by their parents' cancer. That's 5 million children at great risk for increased anxiety, loss of social interest, and feelings of hopelessness. Although I never had the chance to be a KESM camper when I was growing up, upon joining the organization my first week of college, I immediately felt at home. I now not only had the space to grieve, but I also was able to turn around and give kids the support that I always wished I had. KESM is a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting children through and beyond their parents' cancer. Our goal is to create fun, meaningful experiences and a lasting community so that no kid facing their parents' cancer ever feels alone.
We are one of the fastest growing chapters out of 130, serving over 10,000 children across the country. We had our first camp in 2018, and we provide support to the Maryland, DC, and Virginia families.
Our programming is designed for kids ages 6 to 18 years old, and it is completely free for all of our families. Our main program, Camp KESM, is a free week-long summer camp, but we are more than just a camp. We foster year-round connection. This comes in the form of our biannual field trips, our monthly virtual hangouts, and our individual bereavement support. We really focus on this year-round connection aspect, knowing that KESM may be the only time in these kids' lives to be around others going through the same thing.
When the pandemic struck, we knew our services would be needed now more than ever. Our campers were left feeling a lot of uncertainty and change, but KESM remained by their side. In the summers of 2020 and 2021, we were able to spread the love of KESM in a virtual setting. We were determined to make sure that our campers could feel the KESM connection even through a screen. Even in this new setting, the impact that KESM had on our campers was more than we could have ever imagined. In October 2021, we were fortunate enough to host a weekend camp in which we were finally able to safely see our campers after almost 2 years. This was many of our campers' first time at an in-person camp, and the KESM magic was incredible. KESM means magic. It's not just a place, it's a feeling. The feeling of community, love, and support. I found this incredible community when I felt most alone, on the verge of transferring from UMD, but KESM completely transformed my college experience. That's exactly how we hope our campers feel each and every day. We've only been around for 4 years, but our chapter continues to grow and make even more KESM magic. We have over 250 student volunteers, of which 96% have actively stayed involved throughout their entire college career and have dedicated over 70,000 unpaid service hours. In these 4 short years, we have raised over $300,000, and that's powered us to support over 120 unique campers.
When we last presented in 2019, we supported 50 campers. Since then, we have doubled our impact. We are projected to support 100 campers this summer. That's 100 children who will have a community of support for a lifetime. 100 children who will never have to walk through the hallways of their school and feel like they're alone.
With the $5,000 grand prize, we would be able to make camp more accessible for years to come. We believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that means meeting our campers wherever they are in life. This can be seen in our various types of transformational support that we provide.
The grand prize would allow us to more equitably spread the word of KESM. This would come in the form of us hosting community information sessions in schools and hospitals, as well as cancer conferences that require entry fees to attend. All of which where we would be distributing hard copy information and applications in multiple languages, overall greatly increasing the productivity and accessibility of our outreach process to camper families of all backgrounds.
With the ability to support 100 campers, we will be partnering with Rowan University in New Jersey's brand new KESM chapter to host their campers who otherwise would not have had camp this summer. We hope to help this new chapter grow and provide immediate support to the campers they currently have. Many of these families need extra assistance, such as transportation from New Jersey to our campsite, as well as other camp materials such as clothing.
With your help, we will be able to create even more change in more campers' lives, like Bama here. And I'd like to introduce you to one more camper. This is Brainstorm. Just like me, Brainstorm has had a full circle experience in KESM. But don't just take my word for it. Brainstorm, why don't you come on out here?
Thanks, Peanut. Thanks, Beans. I was a camper for 10 years. Now, I'm a counselor, helping kids just like me.
And that's what KESM is about, spreading even more camp magic to campers and counselors for years to come. Thank you.
Wonderful presentation. Congratulations to both of you. And to take a very difficult time in your life and try to turn into something positive for others, I think is just a beautiful thing. So thank you very, very much for all the work that you're doing. I'm very impressed in terms of how you talked about that you're the fastest growing CUSM. And I'm curious to know, how is it that you've become the fastest growing, and what is it that you're going to do to maintain the pace at which you're growing?
Yeah, thank you. So when we first started out in our first camp in 2018, we had only 25 campers. This past few summers, we've had 50 campers, and now we're doubling that impact to 100. And I really think it just goes to our very passionate student volunteers that we have. They are very excited to fundraise, and they care a lot about what the impact and vision of KESM really means. And they realize that the impact that they have on our campers is exactly that same impact that our campers give to us. So we have had really successful fundraising events. On Giving Tuesday this past winter, we raised $43,000 in 24 hours. We just had our Make the Magic event where we raised $30,000 in one night. So we're just going to go off of this momentum and keep going with our amazing student volunteers and student leaders and see what we can do for KESM.
Thank you.
I say it each time, great presentation. And there is no price that you can put on community and creating a community. And now saying that, I'm going to ask you a question about cost. Do you know, you say that these are free camps, but there are costs, and I'm curious, what's the unit cost per person, and how can you leverage this $5,000 to scale up that unit, the amount of people you can serve?
Sure. So to send one camper to camp as well as to provide year-round support is $1,000. So $1,000 supports one camper year-round. And so that kind of goes back to what we were talking about, not just that free summer camp, but there's other things that we do throughout the year, such as monthly hangouts, field trips, just different things to kind of get our campers involved. But then we also have need-based things such as care packages and other type of extra support that a child may need if, say, they lost a parent recently to their cancer diagnosis, or if they're going through a hard time at school. So it's very much just year-round support and then need-based, which all have costs that are kind of more behind the scenes than you would think to know.
Great. Outstanding presentation, relevant topic, obviously. With the impact question for me, the 100 campers you're talking about, how many of them would be new campers, not repeats, just trying to get to a sense of how many new sort of folks you're bringing into the circle?
Yes, good question. Every year we definitely have returners. We have some campers that have been here since the first camp, the first Friends and Family Day reunion, as we call it, and they keep coming back year after year. Also, we have new campers every single year, and we welcome them into our community just as well. So this year we are still accepting applications. They're rolling in daily, so we're hoping to have even more new campers. As of now, I think that we have around 25 new campers signed up for now. So with this growth that we're expecting with the application numbers too, if I had to guess, it would probably be around 30, 35 new campers out of those 100.
Thank you.
I'm curious how diverse your revenue model is. What other funding sources do you have?
Sure. So other than our donors and the fundraising events that we have, we also have different types of grants that we apply for, and we have just kind of basic fundraising, individual fundraising, and just working on different donor stewardship.
We have a lot of support from our, I don't know if that means okay. I was just going to add, we have a lot of support from our local College Park community as well. We've made partnerships with a lot of businesses who support us and are able to sponsor us for our gala events and things like that. So we really reach out into our surrounding area to build connections with whoever we can, and knowing that anyone may know someone affected by cancer, and not only can they support us financially, but also with more kits that we can help. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you guys clap one more time. Give one more round of applause for their project track, come on. And please send a little bit of that goodwill towards our judges as well. Right now on their shoulders, no pressure, is a very heavy burden of having to choose who's going to be our first, second, and third place winners for the project track of the 10th anniversary of the Do Good Challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Please give them a little bit of love too. So before we get started with the venture track, I've been asked to introduce myself. Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Matthew Hollister, and I am the co-founder and CEO of the James Hollister Wellness Foundation. Our mission is to save viable medicine that is considered excess inventory in pharmacies, hospitals, nursing care centers, and to save that medicine from being needlessly wasted. After that, we use that medicine and give it to low-income individuals in developing countries all over the world: Bolivia, Ghana, El Salvador, India, you name it, we're at least trying to go there. In 2017, our project won the first place for the Do Good Challenge on the venture track. And when we competed in the challenge, we used our mini Do Good grant of $500 to incorporate ourselves as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And then we held our inaugural fundraiser in which we raised over $10,000 for our efforts. To date, fast forward 4 years later, we've saved nearly $100,000 worth of medicine from being wasted and used that to serve the healthcare needs of over 50,000 individuals. Oh. So that was my little, I guess you can call it shameless advertising, but I hope you give at least a little bit of that love, A, to yourselves, and B, to the Do Good Challenge in general. For me, at least, the Do Good Challenge was a cornerstone that allowed us, and me and my co-founder, sitting right over there, to take our idea that we conjured up at a metro station one day and turn it into a reality. This allowed us to this organization gave us all the resources that we need to hit the ground running. It gave us everything that we needed in order to serve those 50,000 individuals, without which I don't think we would have been able to do it. So on behalf of them and from the bottom of my heart, thank each and every one of you. To give a little bit of in-depth analysis into what we've been doing at least the past 2 years, last year we partnered with the 2016 Do Good Challenge venture winner, Patrick Prommel of MedFund, to ship $20,000 worth of medicine to Bolivia as a part of the country's COVID-19 relief effort. And this year, we're working with the Health Ministry of the Ukraine to aid, okay, the script says 2.5 million, but I think it's 5 million now, 5 million refugees fleeing the war-torn parts of their country, to give at least some of them the medical aid that they need. All right, with that, now it's time to get started with this year's venture track. Our 3 impressive venture judges include, first, Chike Agu. Chike is a 2020 Tech and Human Rights Fellow from Harvard Carr Center and the Chief Innovation Officer at the U.S. Department of Labor. Next, we have Chad Bolick. Chad is the Executive Director and the Head of Philanthropy Management at Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management. And finally, we have Kristen Kraft, the President of Innovation Strategy and Operations at the Potomac Debate Academy. And now that we have our judges, it's my honor to present to you all this year's venture finalists. Enjoy.
Welcome to the stage, Teleshadowing.
I'm a pre-health student, and I'm so excited to share with you all today that I'm applying to medical school next month. The process has been quite challenging. I would say it's definitely been a marathon and not a race, full of enriching experiences from volunteering to serve my community, as well as patient care experiences and shadowing. Also that organic chemistry class, those late night studying. So, taking a trip down memory lane, let's revisit my first clinical experience. I was actually a freshman at UMD volunteering at my local hospital. I was truly living my best life. I was planning on continuing that experience for the rest of my time at UMD. But unfortunately, in March 2020, due to the pandemic, this experience was brought to a shutdown. Now, I actually needed up to 300 shadowing hours for my applications, as well as about hundreds of thousands of other pre-health students who also needed these experiences for their applications. In fact, this was a global phenomenon. About 75% of students lost opportunities globally, whether it be professional development opportunities, internships, and even summer programs, and even some jobs for entry-level positions for our new class of 2020 undergrads. It was truly unfortunate. However, we were able to adapt to new technologies like Zoom and being able to have kind of Zoom University online. And we were truly able to adapt. And so I thought to myself, why not turn shadowing virtual? And so because students lacked these opportunities, my team and I decided to start one called teleshadowing. Teleshadowing is a free virtual shadowing program open to all students globally. So I'm sure you may be wondering, how does this work? Well, let's all pretend we're pre-health students for the time being. Let's imagine. So first, I would have you register on our website. It takes a few seconds to complete. Then you would attend one of our live shadowing sessions. And after attending, these are a couple of these sessions that look like this. A couple of our healthcare providers actually go through their life journeys, go through a couple of interesting patient case studies. It's truly fascinating to see their life journeys, life paths, because every provider has a truly unique path. After attending the sessions, we have our students take a certification quiz. Upon passing with a 70% or higher, they receive their certificate. So what have we accomplished so far, and what has been our impact? Well, we've offered over 55 live sessions offered by clinicians with over 48 healthcare professionals with their affiliations ranging from our local University of Maryland School of Medicine all the way to the Oxford University hospitals in the United Kingdom. Ever since we started a little over a year ago, we've had over 5,000 students globally receive certificates through our program. They come from over 50 countries and counting. And these are a couple of the universities, over 200 universities that our students come from. The university logos behind me are actually where our campus ambassadors come from, who have leadership positions within our program. So we actually implemented a feedback survey to revisit if this is actually working. Are students actually going to be using this experience in their applications? So one of the questions I'm going to highlight for you all tonight from this feedback survey was whether students will be using this. So what were the results, you may be wondering? Well, from over 3,000 responses, we had a 100% unanimous yes that these students would be using this experience on their applications. Thank you. So how would we be using the $5,000? Well, we'll be using it towards building a more robust website as well as supporting our live sessions. In fact, $5,000 would be able to cover all of our operations costs fully for the next 5 years. This means we'd be able to support 25,000 more students as well as offer 300 more free sessions and courses for our students. Now that I'm nearing the end of my pre-med journey, having experiences similar, universal to the rest of the hundreds of thousands of students who have come before me, it's truly time to give back from what I've learned throughout this process. Not only did we adapt to the online technologies because of this pandemic, but we also learned about the adverse effects of healthcare worker shortages during this pandemic. And it is my goal, as I complete my medical journey and training, to host my own teleshadowing session someday and get back to where it all started. Thank you.
That was great. Congratulations. So my question for you is, I think there's a prevailing assumption that in-person is always better. In a post-COVID world, how would you address this assumption and continue to drive new students to your platform?
That's a great question. Actually, I feel that times have changed over the past 2 years. We've been able to realize that we can meet people from different corners of the world and truly meet anyone from anywhere over Zoom or online hangouts. So now that that assumption has changed in terms of meeting people, these online opportunities are here to stay because we have students globally who are still not able to access these opportunities online. On top of that, healthcare professionals in the past have only been able to support maybe 2 to 3 students in their clinics or hospitals. But using teleshadowing, they can actually have a virtually unlimited amount of students coming in, either through our YouTube live streams or Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again for the presentation. Grateful that people like you are doing this work. I think many of us could imagine being on a different path or better on our current path with this type of technology and program. So I'm curious about teleshadowing. You've done 55 shadowing programs so far. What would it take to get to 55,000?
55,000 live shadowing sessions?
Yes.
That is an excellent question. That would mean that is definitely possible and actually on the radar for us. We plan on actually being able to do more than just weekly, doing things every day. What it would take is actually more healthcare professionals coming into our sessions. So we've actually been able to have brand sponsorships and as well as partnerships with medical schools. On top of that, local medical centers such as the College Park Medical Center we've been able to partner with in Prince George's County, as well as Shore Health Services from Anne Arundel County. So having these businesses partner with us, having these medical schools partner with us has been so impactful, and having more providers volunteer their time about a couple of hours from out of their day to help students. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, great presentation, and thank you for the work that you're doing. Let's think about just how you get to the financial scale that you're talking about. You talked about kind of brand sponsorships, YouTube. Talk about how you see this sustaining itself kind of going forward so that hopefully you can reach the 55,000 or hundreds of thousands around the world.
That is a great question as well. And actually, we recently became YouTube partners. That means that our YouTube channel is monetized. And we know that YouTubers are able to make money based on the number of subscribers that they've had. Keeping our sessions free is great because if we're able to make passive income from our YouTube channel, that works for us. On top of that, if, let's say, businesses want to have students come in in person, they can actually give us, we can actually have a sponsorship from them and actually supply some of our students in our program to be able to have in-person opportunities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's read the budget.
Welcome to the stage, North Star Creations.
How are you feeling? Seriously, how are you feeling? It's the question I would ask my high school students for 7 years. And they said the exact same thing that you said. Good. Mr. Parsons, I'm fine, or I'm okay. It's what everyone says. And some students are okay, but a lot are struggling. 1 out of 6 kids in the US has a mental illness. NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, thinks it's much worse post-COVID. 25% of children suffer from anxiety. 30% of elementary students require regular counseling, and that number alone is very alarming. It's having an impact on our overall health. Everything from the way kids sleep at night, to how they behave at home, to how they perform in school is tied back to their mental health. But there is hope for a better tomorrow. The research is very clear. If we teach young children emotion skills, we can expect to see a 20 to 30% increase in their behavior, their overall health, and their academic performance from elementary school to high school. And that is exactly what we wanted for our 2 kids. If I wasn't making the difference that I wanted at the high school level because it was too late to teach emotion skills, what if we started with young children? My wife and I and our family have been on a mission for the last 1.5 years to help with this problem. Yes, there are some companies out there teaching social emotional skills, but these companies are using non-human characters to teach a broad range of social skills. Our team of 2 Maryland PhD students and a leading Maryland play therapist have a solution. First, we've built a universe of relatable characters. As you can see in the top picture, we have 10 characters that every kid in this country can relate to. We then have created educational content based off of those characters to write our first children's book, How Does It Feel to Teach Emotion Skills? Every one of those characters is used equally throughout all of our products. And lastly, we've created tangible products like dolls of each character that kids can hold, that can be a part of their life, that they can learn these emotion skills through. Second part of our solution is we want to make sure that every one of our products that we create is based on leading external and internal research from our team of building the foundation of getting kids to recognize and label emotions, learning to understand and manage those emotions, and ultimately to have empathy for how others are feeling. We're currently selling to the 3 segments that have the biggest impact on children's lives. Our North Star is parents. We also sell to teachers and therapists. Here's a quote from a private practice therapist talking about the immediate impact that her clients had on teaching, managing, and learning emotions. Parents are our primary customer, though. That's where we focus a lot of our attention. We've sold 450 units to 225 different parents because parents are going to have the biggest impact in children's lives. That's where we have to start. We also want to be inclusive of everyone, so we've donated products to over 250 teachers. We currently have 5,000 students, elementary students, learning emotions through our flashcards. And one of those teachers, Tyler Boone, is here today. It's because of teachers like him that we're going to make a dent in this mental health crisis. He's teaching emotions in his free time at school, and that's what's going to make the difference. We've already had a large impact in the 5 months we've been selling our locally and handmade products. We just passed 9,000 in sales. We're selling all over the country. We project to hit 75,000 in sales this year. But most importantly, we have a customer satisfaction score of 98%, and 75% of our customers would recommend us to a friend. But we need your help to have the maximum amount of impact. If we were to win the Do Good competition this year, we can get our products out to over 100,000 students within the next 5 years. 60% of the funds are going to go to creating a nationally tested social emotional curriculum that focuses solely on emotional intelligence that we can roll out to teachers nationwide. 25% is going to go to creating or to testing dolls for play therapy applications at hospitals across the country with an organization, Hope for Henry. 15% is going to go to R&D on our next wave of products, calling Facing Feelings, now that we have the masks off to teach kids about facial expressions and how emotions tie into that. You probably know that Jim Henson was a Maryland alum, but did you know that he met his wife Jane in a puppeteering class in 1955? And in that class, they created the first Kermit doll. They went on to grow that company into the largest educational company in the world, Sesame Street. Every week I walk by a statue, I'm inspired by the potential impact our company, North Star Creations, could have on children. I know it's very hard for us to talk about emotions and feelings, but please join me in helping the next generation of kids. Thank you.
Congratulations on being here. This is kind of a hard, mean question, so sorry. Products are expensive. Congratulations on making products. That's really hard. Your sales are kind of small so far. Can you tell us a little bit more about your profit margins and what your sales would need to look like and what your path to profitability might be?
Yeah, so we are profitable right now, so we don't have any debt. So last year, we were able to win the Fearless Idea competition with the Dingman Center. We've got funding through an accelerated program with Do Good. So we've been able to use that money to outsource manufacturing. So they are handmade, locally made now, but we have professional manufacturing. All of those products will be here this summer, and that'll move our margins from 15 to 60%. And all of that money is just going to get reinvested into marketing, which we hope to get a 3x return on.
You said 60?
60%,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the work that you're doing. Really applaud the effort. I think the mental and behavioral health challenges that we see around us every day are very apparent. So this work is important. It would also seem, given the scope of the challenge, that fundraising, one could argue, might be easy because folks see this everywhere. What's your experience been so far?
It's been really positive. So, for example, last weekend we went to a kids event just to talk to parents, and you would not believe the story we're hearing from parents. I mean, they're coming up to us, they're struggling, their kids are struggling. So yeah, it's been very positive. We have a lot of support, and ideally, if we're gonna scale this company and grow, we are gonna need to get investments in the future so we can improve those margins in the manufacturing. So we will need that support later on.
Can you go back to your triangle slide with parents, teachers, and that slide? Yeah, that slide right here. Can you talk about the breakdown of your revenue between these three groups? And kind of part two of the question is, as someone who was a teacher, I remember one thing about my experience was having no money. And so thinking about, so I'm curious what your experience has been in kind of more institutional sales within school districts, principals, administrators who actually really have the purse strings within schools to potentially purchase. So breakdown of revenue and then also your administrator or district experience in terms of getting sales.
So we're about 80 to 85% to parents. Teachers make up about 10 to 15% of our sales. We just sold to a school district in Western Maryland. They bought $1,200 worth of our products for 3 at-risk elementary classes to really start to incorporate emotions, and then about 5% to play therapists as well. So we're kind of in the stage right now where we're still figuring out where things will fall between these 3 segments. And we really want to focus on parents, but we do really want to get that curriculum completed this summer by the end of next year because the approval process is in 2023.
Great, thank you.
Time for more.
Are we actually on time?
Welcome to the stage, Vitalize.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sanket.
And I'm Viraj.
And we're the co-founders of Vitalize.
My story begins as a patient. I grew up with a chronic disease that left me with doctors weekly and spending most of my early birthdays in hospitals. But during this really difficult time, my clinicians were with me every step of the way. From when I was getting rushed to the emergency room when I couldn't breathe, all the way to getting accepted to my dream colleges. They were truly my second family, and they inspired me to pursue a career in medicine. So over the past few years, I spent hundreds of hours working right by their side. But it wasn't long until I realized that the clinicians around me were all burnt out, both the ones I was working with and the ones who have been there for me since I was 2 years old. They were emotionally exhausted, disconnected from their patients, but most disheartening to me, they lost their sense of purpose in medicine. Today, over 60% of our healthcare workforce faces symptoms of burnout, and over 1/3 wish to leave their jobs right now. So take a second to imagine that. 1/3 of our healthcare workforce gone. What does that mean when each and every one of us need to access care? So we started speaking to as many clinicians as we could, and at one point during the height of the pandemic, we volunteered at hospitals just to spend our lunch breaks doing customer discovery. But what we learned is that current solutions for clinician well-being struggle with engagement and retention because they're time-intensive, they're stigmatized, and they're not fit for the unique healthcare environment. And this yields low ROI for healthcare organizations. And this is why we build Vitalize, a digital wellness platform for the healthcare workforce. For individual clinicians, we offer a scientifically backed cognitive behavioral therapy app with both content and live service offerings. And for healthcare organizations, we offer a web-based analytics dashboard. And we just published peer-reviewed research to back our product development process. With Vitalize, we have a few key value propositions in mind. First, our content specifically addresses things that clinicians see every day, like dealing with uncooperative patients or coping with the grief of losing patients. We want this to be as accessible as possible for really busy clinicians. So each of our 100+ modules takes only between 1 and 10 minutes to complete. Second, we wanted to uplift the voices of clinicians while providing them with safe spaces to share about their well-being through our community mode and live group coaching offerings. And third, through our analytics dashboard, we want to provide healthcare organizations with data on staff well-being and help them uncover drivers of burnout at their institution.
Our revenue model is a B2B2C, where we sell our platform to healthcare employers on a per clinician per year annual subscription basis. And we also offer an upcharged version that includes our group coaching feature. We're a year and a half into our journey, and we've raised $75,000 in non-dilutive funding. And we've launched a 100 clinician public beta where we found that over 70% of our users want to use Vitalize at least 5 times a week. We've also secured 2 hospital pilots where we will be engaging with over 250 physicians and nurses. Most excitingly, we're expecting to close a $120,000 contract by the end of May with the largest social care provider in Europe. And this would bring Vitalize to 11,000 social workers. Building off of this momentum, we hope to sign 4 paid contracts with healthcare organizations by the end of 2022, bringing us our first $160,000 in contracted annual revenue. And we're excited to scale this significantly as we look to hit our goal of reaching 1 million healthcare workers in the next 5 years. We're the right team to create an impact in this space. Each of us have not only witnessed clinician burnout first-handedly, but we combine over 10 years of clinical experience, globally recognized scholarship in clinician wellness, work at 2 top healthcare venture funds, and engineering talent from one of the country's most promising healthcare startups. The $5,000 grand prize would fund our full-time development team of 5 for an entire month, allowing us to build the back-end technology that enables Vitalize to scale across several hospitals. By doing so, we can reach up to 80,000 healthcare workers by the end of this summer. At Vitalize, we exist to restore purpose and joy and improve the well-being of healthcare workers globally so that millions of patients can receive the best care possible. But for Viraj and I, it's personal. We're building the solution that we wish our clinicians had. And so we're thrilled to be pitching here today for Do-Good's continued support in this collective mission of ours. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Great presentation. I really respect the process that you used when building out your platform. I might be being dense here. I don't feel like I understand what you will use the $5,000 for, and I'm not a data person. So can you walk us through a little bit more about why $5,000 is needed to build out the back end further and what that really means?
And I'm not also the technical person on this team, so that's 100% valid. So what we're specifically using that for is to build out the part of our software that enables us to do management across multiple hospitals. So each hospital, because we're a B2B company, is its own client, so it allows us to do user management and track a lot of analytics as we scale across multiple hospitals. So for us this summer, we want to be in multiple hospitals and be able to track analytics, track users over time. And that's really, really important fundamental software to our platform, especially given the growth potential we see over the coming years.
And just to add to that, where we currently are at, we have a beta app and we have a dashboard, but the dashboard collects data in aggregate across all users. And so we're going to segregate that data in future iterations.
So you basically want like separate customer platforms for the individual hospitals. Yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense.
Fantastic. Great presentation. Love the concept and the idea. I'm curious, you know, it's an issue that's also wrapped up. We think about frontline healthcare workers. We think oftentimes about long hours. We think about low wages. How have you factored that into the app? And is that something that you would partner with along the way?
Great question. So the first thing is all of our content is bite-sized. The current alternatives that are clinician-centric are in the form of hours-long workshops and seminars, and actually hospitals currently, their employee assistance programs have only 7% engagement. The next step is gamification, right? So physicians require, they need continuing medical education credits to maintain their license. And so we're actually partnering with an organization that allows us to give those credits out for completion of modules. And we're actually right now also building out our in-app reward system because a lot of our users said they would love discounts and free stuff for making progress in the app, and that would give them a reason to come back. And so they benefit from the wellness modules and get rewards. And retailers and food chains love supporting healthcare workers, and we're making progress on that front.
Thank you.
The only thing I'll add is every single step of this, we co-designed it with over 50 clinicians. And this is the stuff we heard from day one, even to today, and we're incorporating this in everything we build.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much again for this work and this presentation. Two questions. One, can you talk about the feedback you've gotten from customers around the live service, the coaching, as well, and how many customers have purchased that? Because my understanding is that that's a separate cost from the base platform, and then also the use of the analytics. So just what's been your feedback on that? And then secondly, as I think about scale, obviously the clinician issue is a real one. I'm also thinking about if we were to go back 15 years and think about veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, if we were to think about first responders who work on wildfires today, there are a number of other types of other frontline workers who also have similar issues. If you were to try and serve those segments, would you need to go back and redo your content? Because one thing you said is how tailored this content is. Is it potentially reusable, or would you have to start from scratch with new customer segments? So one, feedback on the coaching and the analytics service. Secondly, if you want to expand to new populations, how much would you have to re-engineer to do that?
Do you want me to?
You take the first one, I'll take the second one.
Okay, so we haven't launched our live group coaching feature
Okay,
because
got
it's
it,
the
got
most technically complicated thing to build.
Okay.
But from our customer discovery to date, it has the highest user satisfaction across all of our features, about 97%.
And we're talking to two coaching organizations that are a coalition of clinician-trained coaches. So they're clinicians who worked in healthcare and then pivoted their career and received extra credentials to coach. And so we're going to start off by partnering with them to, one, co-design content that matches their existing curriculum, and then two, to have their coaches on our platform. And so that gives us a sales pipeline. And it would also bring us early revenue by partnering with the institutions they've already sold to. And the second question, could you remind me?
Just if you want to expand to other segments like veterans or first responders, how much would you have to start over versus use?
So it would only be a piece of our content. There's a decent amount of our content that explores a lot of fundamental mindfulness techniques, just because we want people who are new to mindfulness to be able to come and enjoy this. So we would have to tailor some new content because these aren't people treating patients, but we have all of our content being developed in-house and have a very robust platform of doing discovery, designing content, and implementing, and it's something that we've looked to optimize. And we've actually been starting conversations with the VA because we realize that especially healthcare providers within the VA and veterans, they are an incredible population that could definitely use something like this. So that's something that we're thinking about right now because we really see this as a group that could benefit for what we're building.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so now our judges have left, and it is now your turn to be a judge for the Do Good Challenge. Woo! All right. So you're going to get to vote, and the team that gets the most votes from the audience is going to win another $2,500. All right? Woo! All right. So on the screen will be the text to vote information, all right? And I want to remind you, you only get to vote once. So make it count, all right? We'll give you a minute to make your decision. Now, earlier this evening, you got to meet 7 fabulous Do Good Challenge semifinalists at our showcase. And pretty soon, you'll get a chance to hear the 2 that got most of your votes, the 2 that got your top votes at the showcase. Each of them is going to get 2 minutes to come on the stage here and pitch for you, and then you're going to get to vote again. And the team that gets the most votes after their 2 pitches will get $750, and the second team will get $500. But before you get to vote again and be a judge again, we're fortunate to have come to the stage the last showcase audience choice winner when we were in person in 2019. Please welcome to the stage Vanessa Barker, founder of Pausable.
Hi, I'm Vanessa, and I'm the co-founder of Possible. In 2019, Possible was part of the Do Good Showcase and won the Showcase Audience Choice Award. Our organization provides volunteer puppy raisers with resources and support to help them raise future service dogs. Back in 2019, we had just been founded and had supplied dog food to 5 puppy raisers. Since then, we've partnered with 7 nonprofits and grown to over 20 chapters across the United States. In just the last year, we provided financial relief and scholarships to 50 puppy raisers. We also hosted 15 interns, built a library of community resources, and fundraised over $30,000. My time at UMD working with the Institute helped propel my organization forward. Do Good mini grants help Possible make an impact quickly. And as an accelerator fellow, I had the access to time and resources to grow Possible into the organization we are today. It really all started right up here. And now we're going to bring up the next top 2 showcase teams for the chance to tell you about their impact. Our showcase teams are Game Changers and Lean On Me. Please welcome to the stage our first showcase team. Thank you.
Growing up, I was involved in multiple sports teams. I love the feeling of being a part of a team, of feeling like an essential player. I loved working alongside my teammates to reach a common goal. My years of experience on various teams empowered me to assume leadership positions both on and off the field. Sports can have an extraordinarily positive impact on young people's lives, yet disadvantaged kids face many barriers to participation. I was inspired to found Game Changers New York when I realized that so many children do not have access to participate in sports, and the empowering experience that was incredibly formative for me. I knew that if every child had a soccer ball to kick, a bat to swing, or cleats to run in, they too could become leaders in their local sports leagues. They too could benefit from the life skills that playing sports imparts. Game Changers' mission is to give every child that opportunity. We donate collected sports equipment to children in need locally and globally. Our target audience includes 2 main demographics: children with disabilities and children who cannot afford sports equipment. Since our founding in 2016, Game Changers has donated over 50,000 pieces of sports equipment, worth over $100,000 to 45 partner organizations in 9 countries. Our volunteers, generous donors, and teen and advisory boards have helped with the growth of the organization. Their collective efforts have enabled us to impact hundreds of lives, hundreds of thousands of children worldwide. Our process and theory of change is to collect lightly used sports equipment from families, companies, sports facilities, and even national sports teams, such as the New York Islanders. When we connect these donations, we then connect these donations directly to one of our 45 partner organizations based on need. While we are proud to have made this large impact, we are eager to do more. Our goal is to expand to more countries and get more sports equipment in the hands of kids in need. I know that we will be able to do this with the support of the Do Good Institute. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Sorry, I'm just a little short. Get this. So good evening, everyone. My name is Tessia, and I co-founded Lean On Me College Park, UMD's first peer-to-peer, non-crisis mental health support line. When I was a freshman on campus, UMD actually had no text line option for mental health. And that year, like a lot of other people, I failed my first exam. I lost a friendship, and I just really needed to talk to someone. But like most freshman students, I lived around 2 feet from my roommate, and I had no privacy for calls or meetings. My schedule was too packed to schedule in a professional appointment, and even if I did schedule one, I kept thinking, are my problems important enough to bring up to someone? Will anyone even care? To address these barriers, we started this text line to give an accessible and trustworthy way for students to just pick up their phone, dial our number, and start talking to another trained student volunteer. Over the course of this pandemic, we've reached over 400 conversations amounting to over 20,000 individual texts, trained over 70 student volunteers, and hosted advocacy events such as Minority Mental Health. We're hosting our first in-person collaborative event, Mental Health Coffee House, actually next Tuesday, so all of you should come, where we will be spreading awareness through open mic and music. It is our hope to expand peer support nationally on campus and in the United States by hosting a conference for other chapters where students and administrators can come together to discuss shared issues, talk to other students, and spread peer support so that every student will have someone to lean on. Thank you.
All right, so now you're gonna know the drill here. We're gonna vote for your favorite showcase team. The ones that get the most audience votes is gonna win $750, and second place will get $500. The text to vote information is right there, and we'll give you 1 minute to decide on making your vote.
Complice, on leur donne un bon son, life soulmate. À la tête maritime, lights glamorous. Ton style et ton charme, t'es fabulous. Un délice pour un macadam, baby, baby. Si tu savais comme je baby, baby. Crois-moi que l'atmosphère est parfaite.
I think that doing good means that you are actually putting someone else above yourself.
So I think doing good is just giving back, resources from your company, profits from your company, but also your time and helping your community.
Doing good means orienting your life to serve others.
We're not doing more harm than good. We're entering spaces with a level of professionalism and a level of integrity.
Working with people where they are, figuring out what they do know, what they don't know, and helping so that we are making sure that what we're doing is benefiting them.
Leverages your gifts, your talents, the best ways that you can live and work in service to others, and in a way that is a welcome gift and one that lasts.
Waking up in the morning and being able to work on a project that will impact someone's life.
But then taking a step further and actually not even just doing something about it, but learning about it and speaking about it and then taking action to make an impact on it.
Extending compassion when you need to, being understanding when that's called for, as well as just going out of your way to actually doing something constructive.
Unfortunately, so much in the world that needs help, but being able to tackle what you can and using the gifts that you have and being able to just help others really is a great feeling, and then I feel like it all just helps everyone cohesively.
To me, I think it's taking your strengths and finding how you can serve your community.
I would say doing good is making an impact on other people and just leaving a legacy for other people to follow.
Doing good to me means letting underrepresented communities know that their voice is heard.
Doing good to me means empowering. Like, I feel like through different organizations, through different methods, you can empower someone, you can empower people, you can empower organizations, you can empower a lot of different things. So doing good is empowering.
Good evening. I hope everyone is enjoying the show. Is everyone enjoying the show? Yay, awesome, awesome. This is one of my favorite programs of the year, and each one of these students and alum have worked so hard to get to where they are today, and I'm so proud of them. My name is Keisha Monroe, and I'm a Terp alum. Go Terps! And I'm the manager of the Do Good Accelerator. While our judges are doing their deliberations in the back, we are gonna play Let's Do Good. So I'm gonna have our 5 remaining showcase teams come up on the stage to participate in our trivia game. In the hand? Okay. Each contestant will answer 5 trivia questions about a challenge team or alum. Players who correctly answer 3 out of 5 questions will win $100 for their team. All of our players will take home a Do Good prize pack. Audience, you are their lifeline, so don't be shy. Yell out what you think is the correct answer. Okay? So let's meet our contestants.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Chrisman, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Repurpose from Plastic, and we developed a cleaning technology specific for plastics used in agriculture.
Hi, everyone. I'm Polly Capitopola. I am the co-founder and co-president of the University of Maryland Kidney Disease Screening and Awareness Program, and we have conducted a number of kidney health workshops and are hoping to conduct a kidney health screening in the fall.
Hey everyone, I'm Marie Brodsky. I'm the co-founder and president of Wise Cities, which stands for Where Innovation Supports the Elderly, and we partner with cities to develop accessible tools for seniors to avoid social isolation.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Easton. I'm the president and founder of Latino Pathways, which is a student-run organization here on campus which educates, advocates, and fundraises in order to help Latina immigrants on their pathway to higher education and community development in the United States.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm a part of Peer to Peer. We provide personalized mentoring and tutoring to refugee youth in Prince George's and Montgomery County.
Thank you. Awesome. Now that we know how you do good, let's win some Do Good dollars. I'm going to ask you a question, and I'll give you 5 seconds to select your answer. Listening to the audience, your lifeline. Once those 5 seconds are up, hold your card up, and I'll ask you to show us your answer. Are you ready? Audience, are you ready? Okay, don't leave them hanging. Okay, let's begin. Question 1. Hydrate's pioneered automatic toilet flushing technology that reduces average toilet water consumption by 45%. Which building on campus has 2 of their units installed? Okay, let's see your answers. Okay, the answer is B. Did everybody get it right? Okay, let's go. Second question. Which 2014 Do Good Challenge team has since rescued more than 27 million pounds of produce and provided more than 1.7 million pounds to neighbors in need? A, B, or C? Okay, pick your answer. Let's see. Okay. All right, time's up. The correct answer is C. Okay, third question. Which serial entrepreneur has made it to the final stage for 3 separate initiatives? Put your answers up. Okay, we have a lot of different answers. Okay, the correct answer is B, Barrage. Okay, good job. Audience, you all are awesome. Okay, question 4. Which 2 alumni of the Do Good Challenge won the 2022 Rising Terp Award presented by the Alumni Association? A, B, or C? A, B, or C? Oh, you put all of them? Okay. The correct answer is A. It's A. Audrey and Matt Hollister. And I just want to add that Cedric and Jonathan both received Outstanding Young Alumnus Award, and Linda Powers received the Do Good Award from the Alumni Association. So go do good, Terps. And the last question. Are you ready? Drum roll. Yeah. Y'all are great. Okay. How many of this year's challenge finalists have spent at least one semester scaling up their projects or ventures at the Do Good Accelerator? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. The answer is B, 4. Awesome. Yes. Awesome game, you all. Thank you all for participating. So you may return to the backstage. Okay, so that was fun, right? You all did awesome participating. Thank you so much. So now is that time of evening that we've all been waiting for. We're going to start announcing the winners of the Do Good Challenge. So first, I'm going to ask all of our judges to come back to the stage along with all of our teams, Dean Orr, President Pines, and our Do Good staff. Come on out. While they work their way to the stage, we have a special surprise for our finalists.
Go make a row at the end of the back of the stage.
You can leave that. Thank you. Don't worry.
Kevin, Amalia, and the entire Cora team, congratulations on making it to the finals of the Do Good Challenge for this year. Cora was a brilliant idea, and you've executed it brilliantly.
Congratulations on being a finalist in the Do Good Challenge. Your mom and I know how hard you've been working for Cora, and we're so proud of you.
Hey, congratulations, Matt Parsons. I'm very proud of you and what you've accomplished with North Star Creations, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of impact it's going to have on the rest of the world.
Hi, Matt. Congratulations on being a finalist in the University of Maryland's Do Good Challenge.
Congratulations on being a finalist in the Do Good Institute 2022. I'm very proud of you and your accomplishments.
Hey, Kayla and Isha, I'm just so proud of you and thankful for you for making it to the Do Good finals, and I'm so happy for everything that you do for Kasam. It's amazing, and I know that everyone really appreciates it.
And we're here to congratulate both Hope and Zoe for making it to the finals in this year's Do Good Challenge. We are so proud of you and the entire Get Over It team for the difference you are making in the lives of young women.
Congratulations, Team Get Over It! What started as a team project for a class for one semester turned into this real-life accomplishment that had such a big impact on so many members of our community here at UMD.
Sanket and the Vitalize team care so much. They're a group of students that have committed so much of their time and energy to taking action and giving back, which is such a beautiful thing.
Hey, Vanessa, it's Professor Cooper Jean and my little good luck charm here wanting to tell you congratulations on becoming a finalist for the Do Good Challenge. We are wishing you so much luck.
Congratulations on being a finalist, North Star Creations. We're so proud of you. Go, Dad!
Congratulations, Cassim, on making it to the Do Good Challenge finals. I'm so proud of you and super excited to continue to see the growth that you make for this organization.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, my
We're
love.
so proud of you.
I have to be a little quiet because you're downstairs cooking dinner, but I just want to say congratulations and I'm so proud of you and you're doing such amazing things and you're going to kill it.
Congrats, Zoe. We're really proud of you and all your hard work.
I just wanted to let you know how proud I am of you all for taking this chapter to levels that it has never seen before.
Congratulations. We're so proud of you. Here's some other people that say congratulations as well.
Go, Zoe.
so proud of you. It just shows what a smart woman and persistence can do.
Go, girl. You're going to do great. Congratulations.
I just want to give a huge shout out to you guys for all the work that you've done and what we've achieved so far as a team.
Congratulations, Zoe and Hope, on all of your hard work in making it to the finals of the Do Good Challenge.
Congratulations on being a finalist, North Star Creations. I'm so proud of you, Matt. You've been an exceptional friend, coach, as well as leader.
Congratulations on being a finalist, Vitalize, Sankath, Raj, and Nikhil. You guys rock.
Hi, Obachi, it's Nora. Congratulations for being a Do Good Challenge finalist. Your family loves you. Congratulations again.
Hi again, everyone. Congratulations again to all the finalists. I have the distinct pleasure of announcing the Audience Choice Awards. Great job, you guys managed to vote. All right, we've tallied the votes, and the finalist team to win the Neelam Foundation Audience Choice Award is Kesem at UMD. I got butterflies from that, guys. Congratulations again to Kesem. Okay, so earlier tonight, everyone text voted for their favorite showcase team, and we saw the top 2 vote-getting teams deliver a lightning pitch. You all voted again, and I'm pleased to share the winner of the Showcase Audience Choice Award is Lean On Me. Congratulations again to Lean On Me. And that means that the runner-up for the Showcase Audience Choice Award goes to Game Changers. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, I'd like to welcome back my friend, Khalil Kettering, to the stage to announce the winners of the project track.
Thank you. My name is Khalil Kettering, and I'm an alum from the School of Public Policy. And if you go in the Wayback Machine, I was actually on the stage here doing the Do Good Challenge myself in the time of covered wagons in the Oregon Trail. And one thing I will say is that it is not easy being up here. It is scary, it's intimidating, but it's a powerful experience. And I guarantee you that no matter what happens tonight, you will take the lessons from this experience with you into your professional life, and it's going to make you a better person and a better professional. And I'm speaking from experience from doing this challenge. And next year, we hope to see some of you up here. So, for third place for the project track, we have Get Over It. Just want to say thank you for raising this issue on campus. You did a really good job building support. You navigated working with facilities and many other departments on campus. And one of the things we want you to encourage you to think about is how will you engage the university leadership more? And think about the supply and demand. How much product do you need? How often do you need? What's the gap in services you're trying to provide? For first place, we have Cora. We really liked how you were able to, in such a short time, expand nationally, 8 different chapters, especially providing positive impact and growth during a pandemic in very challenging locations where infrastructure is hard. And your 3 pillars position you well for impact and growth. You're not just having tangible impact, but you're also working on policy impacts as well. We'd encourage you to think about how can you leverage other partners that are in this space. Don't see them as competitors, but see them as opportunities to scale. And what federal resources are there that you can leverage, for example, like AmeriCorps? And in second place, we have KESM. You're able to build really strong partnerships in the community. And what was really strong was you leveraged your alumni network here, and you showed the power of community. What we would encourage you to think about, too, is about 75% of your attendees are repeat attendees. And you mentioned diversity, equity, and inclusion and justice. So let's think about more how you can expand your attendees, and how can you leverage this to get nationally. It was really tough to decide. These are all excellent projects. And thank you so much for the impact that you are having.
I don't know if there's a segue, but we will announce the Venture Awards. I'm Kirsten. Can we give it up for all of our amazing contestants again? So, like Khalil, I am an alum of the School of Public Policy, and I, too, was once on this stage. I agree, it is horrifying, so congratulations, you have made it. You are now an alumni, and you don't have to be on this stage again. Well, you might be, but that's okay. If you're in this audience, you have been touched by Bob Grimm and the Do Good Institute, and you know how important and how significant this work is. As a young adult, I think we all have to make a lot of decisions about what we do with our life, how we spend our time. And it is thanks to Bob and the Do Good Institute that I choose to wake up every day and to think, how can I make the world a better place? How can I personally do good? And I hope that all of you bring that message with you as you head into the future. And without further ado, we will now announce our winners, and we will also start with third place. So in third place is Tello Shadowing. We were so impressed with the work that you were doing. And when we were learning about it, I think the 3 of us really thought of this as the Khan Academy of Healthcare, which we think is really cool. Our advice to you is to really articulate why the service is a need and not a nice to have, and how to better articulate how this can be used to inspire the next generation of healthcare professionals. When we listened, it sounded like your service was really designed for people who are already interested in the medical field, and we'd love to see this expanded to include interesting high school students or freshmen to become more interested in this space as well. Thank you. All right, now we go to first place. In first place, we have Vitalize. I mean, huge congratulations to these men. They have raised a ton of money. They're building an amazing product that we think is going to have a really significant impact in the world that we live in today. We'll pause while they take their photo. Our advice here is a little complicated, so bear with us.
One of our big concerns when we were learning about your product was how you're going to think about the privacy of your users, knowing that the hospital is the entity that's also paying you. We think that your service has the potential to really identify who needs help and who needs help urgently, but we think that in doing that work, you need to be very cautious about how you're working with the hospital and how you're identifying those segments of users who need those different services that that hospital could provide. But we thought it was great, so congratulations. And in second place, we have North Star Creations. We have so much respect for the work that you're doing. We recognize its importance. For us, it really came down to who are you reaching as your customers? And I think for all three of us, it was really important that you start to think about how you can work with schools and school districts and get your products into the hands of more teachers. When we were in the back, our biggest thought was, how do we address equity with these products, knowing that parents who can afford to buy them might not be the ones that have kids that really need these services in their hands. So while it's hard and difficult and school districts are complicated, we'd really encourage you to go there next. And with that, I think I turn it back over to Bob.
All right, my friends, so with that, that ends our 2022 Do Good Challenge. Woo! Woo! And we'll see you next year for the 2023 challenge. Now, go out and do more good. Woo! Woo!